What's up everybody, it's Johnny and I'm back today to provide you with a full breakdown on the PPP loan. At this time, many small businesses have been funded or have received approval that they will be funded. Once you are funded, it's time to look into forgiveness to ensure you do not have to pay back the funds. Remember, the payback terms are 2-year term, 1% interest rate, and the first payment is not due for 6 months. But remember this, interest begins to accrue the day you receive your funds. In this video, I will be providing a complete review of how to obtain maximum loan forgiveness for the PPP loan under current rules. Before we begin getting into the details, I want to recap the basics of loan forgiveness. The two basics are that 1, employee headcount cannot be reduced, and 2, the 75-25 rule, where at least 75% of the funds must be used on eligible payroll costs and 25% or less on non-payroll costs like utilities, mortgage interest, and rent. I will be presenting all of this information in a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet that breaks all of this down in a very clear and concise way. Before we dive into this information, I want to let you know of some very important news regarding the PPP loan from the AICPA. For those of you who do not know what the AICPA is, it is the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. As you are aware of, there are many issues with the current PPP loan conditions, specifically the condition that after the receipt of funds, you have 8 weeks to spend the money on eligible costs to obtain loan forgiveness. The issue with the 8-week rule is that many business owners are concerned they will not be allowed to open their doors during this 8-week window. If they aren't operating, how are they able to pay their staff? To address this, the AICPA has made recommendations to the U.S. Small Business Administration to address this issue and many more issues. They are proposing specifically that the 8-week period should be flexible, with businesses able to choose to commence it once stay-at-home restrictions are lifted instead of when the loan proceeds are received. In addition, the AICPA has many other recommendations to assist in minimizing the confusion and complexity for those applying for loan forgiveness and for all of these PPP stipulations. I will put a link in the description to all of these recommendations and the articles that I'm talking about. In addition to all of the AICPA specific recommendations, there are many other rumors circulating around the internet, such as the 8-week period being moved to a 16-week period. I want you to know that I am closely monitoring the situation. Please subscribe right now. Click that subscribe button so you do not miss any update videos on this issue and other issues related to the stimulus package. As I mentioned in my very first video on this channel, I am a CPA of a small family business. Our firm has created an Excel spreadsheet to break down the PPP loan for our clients and to assist in better understanding the components of loan forgiveness with the PPP loan. The Excel spreadsheet is for a hypothetical business that has received $100,000 in PPP funds on May 7th, 2020. As always, I must say that this video is for informational purposes only, and you should always specific your own accountant for specific advice to your specific situation. Alright, at this point, let's get into the Excel spreadsheet. The Excel spreadsheet consists of 2 parts. Number 1, a payroll calculation, and number 2, a complete breakdown of the 75-25 rule. The first component of the Excel spreadsheet is to calculate your PPP eligible payroll cost per payroll. In this example, we are calculating payroll on a bi-weekly basis, as most of the businesses we work with pay payroll on a bi-weekly basis. It is important to note that the frequency of the payroll, whether it is paid weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly, will impact this calculation, as payroll for the PPP loan is capped at $100,000 annually. So again, this calculation is specifically based upon a bi-weekly payroll. In column 1, you see that this example has 6 total employees. In column 2, we have the actual gross payroll per each employee listed in column 1. In column 3, we have the allowable gross for PPP loan forgiveness. Please note, employee number 1, number 2, and number 3 are capped at $3,846 because the pay is bi-weekly. If the pay is weekly, this would be $1,923. Column 4 indicates the expense for local/state employer tax. Please note, employees number 1, 2, and 3 do not have this expense as they have already reached the maximum allowable expense. In column 5, we have the 401k match. Again, all costs are added on a bi-weekly basis. The sum of all the costs in this specific example are $17,448 per payroll. Okay, now that you have a clear understanding of the cost of each payroll to be issued during the 8-week period after the loan proceeds are received, it is time to get into more details and to look very closely into this 75-25 rule. Now that you have your payroll cost, you are ready to move forward with the second part of the Excel spreadsheet. Before we begin, it is important to have a clear understanding of the 75-25 rule. In order to obtain maximum loan forgiveness, at least 75% of the PPP funds must be used for payroll expenses. At the top of this report, you will see in this example the total PPP funds received are $100,000. These funds are assumed to be received today on May 7th, 2020. In the column to the left, you will see 75% of $100,000 is $75,000. Remember, to obtain maximum loan forgiveness, at least 75% of your PPP funds must be used on eligible payroll costs. Since we calculated the payroll costs in the first part of the Excel report, and we know the bi-weekly payroll is $17,448, we can proceed with completing the calculation. Below the $75,000, we subtract each bi-weekly payroll of $17,448 during the 8-week period following receipt of funds. Included in the payroll costs are health insurance premiums paid during the 8-week period. If you add the 4 bi-weekly payrolls of $17,448 each and the 2 health insurance premiums paid of $5,404.96 each during the 8-week period following the receipt of funds, you get a total payroll cost of $80,641.92. In this specific example, total payroll costs of $80,641.92 exceed the 75% of $75,000 by $5,641.92. Now, based on this example, we have passed the rule of at least 75% of the PPP funds being used for payroll costs, as our total of $80,641.92 exceeds the 75% of $75,000 by $5,641.92. At this point, we have completed the eligible payroll costs related to the PPP funds portion of the Excel report. Next, we must address the other eligible costs, including utilities, rent, and mortgage interest. In the column to the right, you will see that we start with 25% of the loan of $25,000. We subtract the excess payroll cost from the $25,000 at the top of the page. We subtract this because we only have $100,000 in PPP funds and we have already used $80,641.92 on eligible payroll costs in this specific example. Next, it is time to account for the other eligible expenses. You can see during the 8-week period, month 1 and month 2, we will make 2 payments for telephone of $350 each, internet of $240 each, 2 payments for water of $230, gas and electric of 2 payments of $150, rent is $5,500 each month, and mortgage interest is $250 each month. The total of all non-payroll eligible costs for loan forgiveness, which again are telephone, internet, water, gas/electric, rent, and mortgage interest, are $13,440 in this example. Remember, these expenses would have already been in effect prior to February 15th, 2020 to be eligible for loan forgiveness. Now, take the $25,000 less the excess spent on payroll, $5,641.92, and the total of the other expenses, $13,440, and you are left with a positive $5,918.08. This number, as a positive, means that you have not yet spent 100% of your PPP funding of $100,000, and you have $5,918.08 left to spend. If you have a negative number after calculating these expenses, you have spent more money than the PPP funding received, and you will have to make a necessary adjustment. We recommend contacting your accountant in either situation, whether you have a positive number or a negative number, for specific instructions on what to do next. Okay, at this point we have gone over an Excel spreadsheet which assists in calculating your eligible payroll costs and other eligible costs, and should provide a lot more clarity on the 75-25 issue. Another important item to note is that to be eligible for maximum loan forgiveness, you must maintain the same number of staff. Loan forgiveness will be reduced if you decrease your full-time employee headcount. You have until June 30th, 2020 at this time to restore your full-time employment and salary levels. You have really just absorbed a ton of information. Please note, this situation and the stipulations may change daily, so please continue to check back for updates. Please subscribe so you do not miss any videos. Ultimately, the bank you receive the funds from will have final say and dictate the terms. Please always consult with your bank if you have any additional questions. I intend to look into more details such as the tax ramifications of the PPP loan and more to provide information for you all. For now, I hope everyone can stay healthy, I hope you stay sane, and I cannot wait to see you all soon.